Well, thank you for coming on my show, Wes. And what can you tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
About me, I would say I guess I'm very hardworking, motivated, dedicated, and I was in an office for a long time. I worked in office jobs for about 10 years, and the office life blows. It was not, that's what I went to college for, and I feel like when you're in high school, you don't really know what you want to do for your whole life until you go to school, and then you graduate, and then you go into your career, and you're like, oh man, like this job kind of sucks. I don't like this. So I guess COVID helped me a lot because it changed me. It changed my jobs around and made me really notice what I really want to do. And I guess I'm a very active person. I've been involved in sports and athletics my whole life in high school, college, and to this day I am too. So it's to find a job that you really love and you're passionate about and to work that is kind of like a dream for me because you're at your job, your whole life. You're at your job more than you're seeing your friends and family. So I think to have a job that you enjoy doing is probably pretty important. And I think I'm finally doing that now. It's just wicked hard, but I love it. So yeah, it's
That's
fun.
awesome. Amazing. So let's go into details. So in 2023, you were in a TV show called, it was on HBO Max. I believe it's still running, but it's called The Golden Age. Um,
Yeah.
what can you tell everybody about that show and what was your character in that show?
That's a small role. That's so I just started acting last year, and that was a fun role. I started off as background, and then I got kind of like a bump as a footman too. So it's a great show. It takes place in the late 1800s in Newport, Rhode Island, and New York. It's crazy because the outfits we wear, we had to show up really early because it takes a couple hours for us to put all the equipment on and everything too. And the outfits are amazing. They're, really what they used to wear back in the 1800s and very proper back then. The people on their TikToks and Instagrams now, they would not know what is going on in the 1800s if we showed them a phone. They'd be like, "What the heck is this?" So like that show is so cool. They really keep true to the nature and how the personalities are like because it takes place in the mansions in Newport, just like how it was in the 1800s and the Gilded Age back then. And the outfits are just amazing. So the guys, there's no zippers back then, right? So our pants have buttons on it. So you have to like, if you got to go to the bathroom, you got to unbutton six buttons. Your socks go up to like you put these huge stockings on that go all the way up to like your waist, and then you put your pants on. The pants go up to like your nipples, and they have like the suspenders that go over here, and then you
Wow.
put the really tight shirts on. There's also how shirts have collars now?
Hmm.
They didn't have any collars back then. It was just the shirts were very stiff, and so they were very stiff, and the shirt would just end. The collar would be like a plastic thing they put on you. So you couldn't do it yourself. You have somebody else dress you, and they put the plastic on, and there was a hole right here where it attached to your neck, and every time you move, my skin and Adam's apple will get stuck in it. So after every showing, I would have like a little bruise here just because my skin was getting stuck in the little hole there. And it's crazy how the clothing has changed from like 100 years ago from now, and we've gotten to be very lazy in our clothing now compared to what they used to wear. And I'm fine with it. It's very comfortable now. If I had to wear what they wore back then and they showered like once a month or something like that too, it's a little crazy. But the people on that show are amazing. The mansions were absolutely beautiful. And it was delayed a lot because of the strike, of course, too. So we filmed a lot of it, but they couldn't produce much of it because of the strike. So the second season just came out this year. Well, I think the last week or two too. So very cool show to be part of for sure.
Wow. That's crazy. Wearing the tight clothes. I don't think I can do it now.
No, no.
We're so used to all these loose clothing.
And the
Yeah.
ladies would wear they would wear the corsets. So there was the things that like tightened their stomach in a lot, and they would always eat before they put it on because they want to make sure their stomach is as expanded as possible. Because if you put your corset on before you eat and your stomach expands, it's gonna be really uncomfortable. So they had to put a corset on and a bustle, which is the thing that goes next to your butt. So it makes your butt come out and the dress goes on. And yeah, they require a lot of clearance because they're just very big from the bustle and everything else. So it's very really, and when they go to the bathroom, usually a lot of times people would go with them because they have somebody to hold up the back so they could, sit down. And it's very crazy the different clothes they used to wear. But very beautiful. The style was amazing.
It's amazing. And it's still on HBO Max.
Yes, yeah. I think it's just
Yes.
called Max now. I think they combine or something, but yeah, this
Hmm.
is definitely Max, yeah.
And then, of course, you were in the TV show Julia. And
Yeah.
of course, you were in season two, episode one, and season two, episode three. But what is Julia about?
That is about Julia Childs, who I think she lived in Boston for a long time. It's kind of about her, not a documentary, it's more of a show about her and her life and everything, and what she went through. And she's a very tall person, so the actress playing her is she's a great actress and has the same kind of mannerisms and same kind of personality as an actor, and the same kind of dialect in her accent too. So the scenes are mostly that I'm in because I'm a big server in that too. So I was in mostly in Massachusetts filming for that one as the main server, where she goes to this bar restaurant that she's kind of a local with all the time. And I think the premise of that show is that she is working with a news channel, or she becomes hired onto a news channel, and there's a lot of news people like broadcasters and people behind the scenes, editors and stuff who want to meet with her and talk. And she ends up forming a relationship with a lot of. I haven't watched a lot of the episodes. That's just kind of what I know about it. But it was really cool, and that wasn't as old as the 1800s. I think it was like maybe 1940s, 50s, or 60s or something. And all the cars are beautiful. The cars they have on that set are all from that same era, so they're all
Hmm.
really cool. No computers in the cars, no crazy electric cars. Just all cool old school cars, and it's a really fun set to be on. I think we stopped filming that December of 2022. Yeah, that was a year ago, and then the season's out now. So I haven't watched that season yet, but I gotta watch it. Sometimes you're so busy, you don't have time to watch that stuff. You just keep doing your thing, which is good. But definitely gonna watch that one soon for sure.
Amazing, amazing. And then, of course, lastly, in 2024, you were in Madam Web, if I'm correct. And there's a lot of good actors on that show or film. What can you tell a little bit about that,
Um,
if you're
I don't know
allowed
if I
to
can say
say?
much. Yeah, because it's not. I know it's not out yet, but I know that was a blast. That was my first. I think that was my first. That was my first few handfuls of background roles, and so I played as a background. I got bumped up to a day player, and I was one of the main characters in two scenes there. So I'm not sure where I am in that movie, but wherever that scene will be is where I'll be. It's a pretty intense scene I remember too. So when that does come out, I can tell you. I just can't say anything yet because I
Right,
know I
I
think it comes
understand.
out in probably February, I think, or something.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, no, no, no
but that was a
problem.
lot of fun to film.
No, I totally understand, everything. You can't say anything. Nick, when I have you back, for sure you can talk more about it. So more in depth and details, what have you noticed that is so difficult about being in the entertainment industry as an actor so far?
Oh, what should I say? It requires a lot of motivation, a lot of guts, a lot of failing, a lot of never giving up stuff. If you're a person who's going to give up after a couple years or whatever too, if you're gonna think everything's gonna be given to you on a golden platter. That is not gonna happen unless you're the son of like Tom Cruise or like Sofia Vergara. If you know somebody, or if you're born from someone, of course, yes. But if you're starting not knowing anybody, it's very hard. I guess for me, um, in the finance field, I would apply to maybe 10 different financial jobs. I would get 5 interviews and maybe 3 jobs. So I would get a 50% interview rate and maybe a 30% acceptance rate, which is what I would assume this industry would be the same thing. But I was very wrong because I guess if you compare my 50% rate to interviews and 30% rate to jobs in finance, there's probably about a 10% rate to auditions and maybe a 1% rate of getting a job. At least what I've experienced. I guess that's the normal rate for a lot of people. But If I apply to 100 different jobs, I might get maybe 10 auditions and maybe
Hmm.
get one or two jobs from that. And that's great because though that one or two jobs are will be amazing jobs too. So I think it's I think every week I probably apply to like 400 jobs between myself, my managers, agents, or whatever it's to, and I can never. The thing about this industry too is that you can never rely on people. You have to work really hard. You know,
Hmm.
you can't just fully rely on your agents, your managers to get you stuff. You have to do the work yourself and apply to your own things too, because you can't just rely on someone. You know, I mean, agents are great to have. They're amazing. They're great people. They will work hard for you if they're good ones. But I mean, you only will get things as hard as you work for. You know, if you work hard, you will get what you want to get. You know,
Right.
and it's a hard industry. I mean, with all the sports I've done, the schooling I've done too, and the finance jobs I've done, this is the hardest thing I've had to do. It's mentally tough. It's physically tough. I think it's so hard because somebody may love you, like, oh, Wes, we love your look, we love your eyeballs, we love your height, we love how you look, we love your hair. Do you want to come back for a callback audition? And at first I was like, yeah. I just assume when I was new, I'm like, oh, I got this job, so I got excited, you know. Then you would do the audition, crickets. You know, they ghost you. They don't say anything about it. So like, I was just really tired of being so excited on the roller coaster of up and then down, then up, and I couldn't. It was killing me. It was mentally like it's like dating, you know, like you meet someone they're awesome, then they ghost you. You meet someone they're awesome, and they ghost you. So it's like
Hmm.
I kind of treat it as kind of dating sometimes. Really sad because you'll be really happy and then sad. But now when I have an audition, I do it, forget about it. If I have a callback, I get a little more excited, but I'm not excited to the point where I'll get it. I only get excited when I'm actually on set. So I've learned that it was really hard. I was never depressed or anything, but I'm always a happy person, but it was making me really, really upset, really angry. And it's not because you're not a good actor, it's because they found someone who looks more like a 35-year-old or is like an inch taller than you, or maybe someone else knew somebody. So it's never you're the problem. It's just because they picked someone else, you know, and that took me a while to get used to, but I'm used to it now and I audition, forget about it. If someone calls me, oh, cool, awesome.
Amazing. So you one thing I noticed you said you played sports. What sports did you play, if you mind me asking?
So in high school, I did a bunch. I did wrestling, running, basketball, baseball, tennis. I can only do three, so I picked running, wrestling, and running again. So cross country in the fall time, and then wrestling in the winter time, and then I did track in the outdoor season, springtime. And then college, I did running the whole year. So I ran fall time, winter time, and springtime. And now I am a sponsored triathlete. So I've been doing triathlons for about 10 years. I also coach a lot of triathletes and runners as well too. But for me, anything active, hiking, I love traveling the world as well too. Traveling, hiking, camping, going to the beach, anything outdoorsy, and traveling the world, meeting new people of different cultures, just a huge thing of mine too. So um, I love experiences.
So, what do you say is your most difficult role you have played so far?
I would say I would say a film that's not out yet. It's an independent film that probably comes out next year, I think. I played a role where it was I was a kind of a drug dealer, but I was kind of a newer drug dealer. I was kind of a nice guy. And yeah, I was getting beat up a lot, um, crying a lot. And I guess sometimes when you're on set for like 14, 15 hours and you're crying the whole time, you're getting beat up, it's a lot of work, you know. I love doing that work. It's a lot of fun, but to do like, you know, sometimes you're doing a take, like a certain angle, 10 takes, you know, and they move the screen around, 10 more takes of a different side. So to have that same energy every single take for every single time, crying the whole time, getting beat up the whole time, making sure it's the same every single time. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, and I appreciate movies and shows and actors way more than I ever did before because I never realized how much effort goes into one dinner scene. You know, if you're in a dinner scene, you could have somebody that 1 minute could take a whole day of filming because you're doing multiple angles, everyone's moving everything around, So I would say for me that role of constantly being beat up and crying was tough because you had to be in that same condition every single take for that whole week of filming, and hopefully that there's no real date on that when it comes out, but hopefully it comes out at the end of next year.
Mm,
But it's the best when you can actually see what people have created and like, because the crew works so hard. So when you can finally see everyone come together from the crew and the actors and see the movie, it's a blast, So yeah, I would say that role, any role that requires a lot of emotion like that, it's tough, but it's a lot of fun. And I love taking direction from the directors or other actors. So
mhm.
if I'm doing something the wrong way, they tell me how to do it better, and I will learn from that and do it because I want to make sure I'm coming across the right way I'm supposed to come across, And I want to make sure they're happy. And yeah, it's definitely hard sometimes. You keep doing something over, and it's not that you're bad; it's that the director wants you to do it a certain way that's different, So to memorize your lines, portray the certain energy you're supposed to portray and the emotions, and do it every a different way. If someone's saying to do a different day, those combined, it's a lot for your head to think about sometimes.
100% memorize lines, auditions, and you name it, all that stuff. So now, congratulations, the commercial. And on your Instagram, your commercial, you did it. It's everywhere, and
Oh yeah, all the different ones, yeah.
yeah. I'm sorry, my mind blank, but that's why it didn't come to me. But you know, how long did it take to audition for that commercial?
I would say like, is this the ESPN one?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that was a small role. So I would say like I think it was just one audition. I think it was just one, and then I came in and it was a quick easy. That was more like just kind of showing emotions and stuff, which is sometimes that can be hard, to showing a certain emotion a certain way, It's without words, you have to just make sure your face is the right way that people want to see your face, So that one just took one little audition. So that one
Mhm.
wasn't too bad. So that was good.
Well, congratulations. Sorry, my mind went blank. I meant to say ESPN, but it didn't come out of
Yeah,
my
yeah,
head, my mouth.
no, no worries.
So, you're East Coast based, and
Yeah.
if you had an opportunity to possibly move to LA or Chicago or, somewhere else, especially LA for acting, would you consider it, or do you consider yourself flying from New York to LA and LA back home?
I don't know. I mean, I've talked to a lot of people, friends, agents, actors, managers, and stuff too. And LA has always been the place. It's always the hub of everything. But a lot of things are moving. A lot of people are moving from LA to the East Coast, Atlanta, New York, Jersey. There's a huge Netflix studio being built in Jersey. I think by 2027 it's going to be done or so. So a lot of things are moving out east because it's cheaper. The weather is, I guess, better. Not like warmth wise, but there's no crazy weather patterns. I guess like the West Coast that much or something. But for me, it's hard. I mean, I love it on the East Coast. I do love the seasons. I mean, California is great. I can go biking outside any day. I can go to the beach. It's just amazing. So that is an amazing part of California. It's just that out here I have tons of friends and family. The weather is more bearable mostly. The cold does suck, but I love running outside in the cold weather. It just kind of it makes you more like rough, I think. It keeps you going, it wakes you up. It's kind of nice to have the different seasons. I miss my tan because I do lose my tan skin when it's winter, which that kind of blows. But if I ever got a big job out there or an agent that wanted me to move out there for something, oh yeah, I would not think about it. But just going out there to move, I would do it if I wasn't busy out here. Because I work in New York a lot. I'm there probably 4 times a month. Just take the train or the bus over there. It's really quick and easy. LA would be a whole new start for me. But if that's where I had to go, to start something new and to be really productive and successful in my career, I would do it. And I have been thinking about it, but if I do move out there, I want to make sure I have a plan. I have an agent ready to go. I'm not just going to move out there just to move. I want to move out there and be ready because
Hmm.
I do a lot of research and planning before I make a move. I've
And
had
also
some people move out there and they get nothing because they haven't done any research. I'm like, you
right.
can't just you gotta know where you want to live. You gotta know what job you want in the meantime and what you want to do. Is you can't just go out there on a whim because it's very expensive. So
Yes.
for
And you
me,
can't
I
forget
like where
about
I
the
am now,
weather.
but maybe. What was that?
Can't forget about the weather.
Yes, yeah, of course. Yeah, I
Well,
mean, it's a big question. I have been researching places to rent out there and where to go. Um, I don't know. And it's a question for every actor, but it's either New York or LA, New York or LA, and I love New York because you can literally just take the subway and it goes anywhere you want. It's amazing. California, there's really not much public transportation, so you're driving all the time. So there's just pros and cons, and I've actually been weighing those for the past year, and I don't know what I'm going to do. That's a great question. I don't know.
we have to find out and see.
Yeah.
where you can see. I can't wait for you to come back and talk about your 2024 Madeline Webb film. I'm so excited for you. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Um, you know, and thank you for coming on my show. I appreciate it so much.
Oh, you're done already? Oh,
Well, I'm
is it?
gonna go a little longer, but I promised 30 minutes. I just didn't know. I always promise 30 minutes, but I can go longer. I just didn't want you to, feel pressured or anything.
Yeah, I probably have like 10 more minutes. I mean,
Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm
I just
committed.
I knew your schedule's a little different than mine. So, um now for you during the pandemic, a lot of actors were having problems, in acting, no auditions and all that stuff. What was going through your mindset during that time?
So actually, I wasn't acting yet. Um, I finished my I I got laid off from my financial job in 2018. I was crying, man. I was so upset, but I was tired of working for corporations that treat you. I love them. I love working for them so much, but they just let me go, and it was just out of the blue, and it was really sad. But that kind of set a fire under me. I was like, hey, I got to do something. I got to do something that I want to do. My next job is gonna be something that I really want to do, and so I started working at my gym full time. I started working back in my restaurant, and it was great. But then COVID hit, and my gym shut down, and my restaurant shut down. So that was the first time in my life I woke up and I was like, what do I do? I can't do anything. I can't work out really. Um, can't make money. But I was getting money every week doing nothing, and I was like, this is cool but weird. So I started. I love cooking. And I've had a lot of friends and family that want to see how I make recipes. So I was like, okay, well, I have time. Let's make a YouTube channel. So I started making a YouTube channel about my healthy recipes. And I know a lot of people were very depressed during COVID. They couldn't work out, they were gaining weight, they were unhappy. So I was like, hey guys, you can still go hiking and use the nature. You can also eat healthy. So I would travel around New England and New York with the healthy food I was making with a friend and go hiking, and I would eat the food at certain waterfalls and just make the videos like that. So I would incorporate the food and the area. And I was like, you know what? People get paid for this. And so I started modeling with an agency. And then they were like, hey, do you want to audition for a commercial? And I was like, no, like that's weird. And so I did it. I got the commercial and I've fallen in love with acting ever since. So I don't know what acting is like before COVID. I know the COVID testing was extremely annoying and frustrating. It was a pain because I would have to COVID test for something when I could have gotten a job for something else, but I had to take a COVID test for something else. You would lose the opportunity to work for something because you're taking a COVID test for something else.
Right,
So
right.
I know the strike is happening this year. So I'm assuming the strike is similar to what COVID was like when there wasn't a lot of stuff going on. So yeah, this year was my first full year of acting. Last year it was too, but this year's a first year with my agency, and I'm hoping next year is different because there's no strike, and I hope it's back to normal. But I haven't done this when it's been normal. Yeah.
Wow, it's amazing. Is your YouTube channel, is this still running? You're still doing it or no? Are you just
I mean, it's still there, but I haven't. I did that when I had nothing else to do. I wasn't working, going to the gym, so that was my life, and that's what I was doing every single day. So I think there's like 20 videos on there. I still have 30 videos I have to make. I have all the footage and everything. I just haven't had the time to edit because, that COVID thing ended. I started
Right,
working
right.
a lot, so I still have all that footage and I'll probably make them at some point, but I haven't even gotten on there in a couple of years. But they're cute little videos, But it was fun. It was fun making
Mhm.
those when I had the time.
People must be wondering where you went.
Yeah, I know. I went to acting and auditioning. That's where I went. That's where all the time went to.
Right. So what is your short-term goal and what's your long-term goal?
Ooh, um, short-term goal would be to. I think they're both kind of similar, but short-term would be to keep auditioning for big roles and hopefully get something. All I want to do, I don't have to be famous. I just want to be able to. I do this full time, the acting and the voiceover work. It's been good, but I want to do it full time to be totally comfortable and afford my daily living. I want to be able to, afford my expenses and afford my stuff like a normal human being. I'm doing it well now, but I can do much better in terms of money wise. So
Mhm.
my short term is to yes, continue auditioning for shows and movies and commercials as well. Long term would be to keep doing it and to I mean the dream would be to be a reoccurring character in a show or a movie, where you audition but people know you. So like, hey, you want to play this role? Yeah. So long term goal would just keep networking, meet so many great people, and hopefully meet someone who you can work with well and keep acting for them and just just making it a life and a living. And because I don't ever want to go back to an office again. I don't ever want to go. It was scary leaving a full-time salary and benefits. It's scary leaving that, but you're never going to go to your passion if you never try. And you're never going to be successful. You got to fail a lot until you are. And I failed many times and I've been successful a couple times, So um yeah, the dream, the goal would be to be a recurring character somewhere and just to make a living. I
Mhm.
just want to pay off my school loans. I want to pay those off and breathe again.
And what is your, I don't know if you answered the question, but what's your long-term goal?
Yeah, long term would just be to be a reoccurring character in a show, a movie, and just afford my life and be able to afford other things for other people, and so I can give money to other people and charities. And I can do a little bit of that now, but I would love to make enough money to just kill off my debt and give money to people when it's needed. I would love to be able to do that at some point.
So, have you ever done theater acting or just mainly only TV shows and
I haven't done theater. Ooh, I know I've met a lot of people who have done theater, and it's hard, man. It's really I've the first time I met a theater actor, she was on set for her first time on a film, and she couldn't understand. She was like, "Why are we doing this take 20 times?" And because in theater you do it once live and you're done. If you make a mistake, you have someone else to bring you up. And if you make a mistake here, you keep running with it, or the director will be like, "Stop," and we'll redo it again. So it's like I think TV and film is hard as well because you have to keep that certain script. You have to keep reciting it over and over again all day. That's the hard part. Theater is hard because you have one shot to do it, and that's it. So they're both very hard in different ways. I've never done theater. I've never been interested in theater because I'm so busy with what I'm doing now. I don't have time to look at theater now. But yeah, maybe at some point I would. I'm so busy with what I'm doing now. I don't have time to look at a different aspect yet.
would you have an opportunity to do theater if it comes time?
If I had a big role, I would love to do it. Yeah, I would definitely have had an opportunity and to make a living too. I feel like I'm always up for a chance of something new and to do something new. So I would do it. Yeah.
Yeah, because New York has a lot of has that big Broadway show.
Yes.
Yes,
Huge on theater. Yeah.
yeah, and everybody talks about Broadway. Everybody, all the
Yeah. I think New
actors.
York is they're like more known for I guess theater, and then maybe LA is more known for TV film, but New York has a lot of TV shows there too. So but yeah, I think New York has more theater than California does.
Right, that's what I was saying. New
Yeah.
York is more known for theater. And I don't know if you could correct me, but more like not much for film or TV shows, but it's growing now. You got Law and Order still going in New York, and um, they're adding other shows in New York as well. So it's great. So do you have anything interesting or any hidden talents that nobody knows about you?
Hidden talents, I would say. I mean, I guess I've been a runner my whole life. You know, I love running, biking, swimming, triathlons. I love going to the gym. I love traveling. I lived overseas for a long time, and I love traveling the world every single year, meeting new people. Um, just being nice to people. I think in when I travel to new countries, everybody is so nice. They're so welcoming to you. They'll make food for you. They'll invite you to their house. You know, they're just so full of love and so nice. You know, and Americans are, but a lot of Americans aren't like people in different countries sometimes. You know, and um, it's very interesting. So I like to treat people as I want to be treated all the time, and traveling makes me happy and it fulfills my area of that too. And I wish everyone in the world was just happy to one another, but never going to happen. But it'd be a nice thing to have.
That's 100% true. So what's your advice for someone who wants to break into acting?
Um, I would say never give up and make sure you have tough skin and accept rejection. Also, be willing to be very flexible with the script. And if someone chills you to change something, you say yes and you do it. Because if you're saying no, you want to make sure you're very easy to work with. You want to be hard to work with. You want to say no. And if you have a great opportunity, take it and don't give up. If someone hasn't emailed you back after like a month, you just keep even the squeaky wheel gets the grease kind of thing. You want to follow up all the time, but be nice about it and don't be annoying. Just, follow up because they're so busy. They probably forgot about you. So I've been many times I've followed up after a year and I've finally gotten it after a year of following up. It wasn't the right time for me. They were busy, they missed my email. So even though you haven't heard back from somebody doesn't mean they don't like you. It's just that they didn't see you or it's not your time. So yes, never give up. Just work hard.
That's a very good advice. Just email, respond. Don't be crazy about it. Just email maybe 3 weeks later and say, "Hey, I'm just checking up on you," and then wait a while, a couple maybe 4 weeks, 5 weeks, and then respond and send an email again. Because you never know. You're right. They may have forgotten about you, or they thought that they thought they sent you an email, and somehow you didn't see it. So that's a very good advice. Now a little bit about you, not too personal, but a little bit about you. You had a full-time job. Did you ever thought if Mr. West, as a little child, a 7-year-old child, Mr. West, did you ever thought you'd be here right now acting?
No. No. You know when they ask you when you're like, I don't know, when you're 10, like, oh, what do you want to do for your life? Like, oh, I want to be a baseball player, and some kids are great. Some kids want to be a doctor when they're 10 and they're a doctor, and that's awesome. But for me, yeah, I want to be a baseball player. But then when I got older, I was like, yeah, I don't know about that. But yeah, I was in sports my whole life. So when I was young kid, I was always in sports. And I feel like a lot of kids, when they're younger, their parents start them with acting because but that's usually happens if they're already been in the industry. Like if I was an actor, I have kids, I'll probably start introducing them to the acting and sports. But I never really was introduced into acting until I did it myself. I'm sure if I had friends that did, I would, but I was always in sports from when I was like two or three until till now. And I think it's either acting and sports takes up so much time for parents. Like it's either one or the other. It's hard to do both of them. Um, Even in high school, I thought acting and theater was kind of like, oh, theater, yeah, whatever. I never would have thought of anything until COVID. I think my late 20s, even through my 20s, people were asking me I should be a model, and I was like, oh, I don't know how to do that, whatever. I just never thought anything of it. So I started doing it. I loved it. And then the only person the only reason I thought about acting was that someone asked me if I wanted to audition for a commercial, and I did, and that's literally what made me into it. So yeah, yeah, a kid, I didn't even know anything about it. I wish I did, but yeah, nothing.
I was just curious, a lot of people thought they saw themselves as a little child, and then a lot of people didn't. But here you are, you didn't expect yourself to be an actor.
No, nothing.
And so, any other upcoming roles for next year that I know you probably can't talk about, but any other big upcoming roles?
Um, yeah, I don't know if I can say anything yet. But there's definitely a few things I have gotten. When we're filming, I don't know. There's a big voiceover job I got too. I just don't know when that's coming out, when it's going to happen. Um, there's also I've been doing a lot of student films last year too, because there were, it was during the strike, and I was like, you know what? Let's keep it going. Let's meet some great people in the student area, and let's just do that. So it's great for reels and stuff too. So probably have a few of those coming up too. In terms of big things, I can't say anything yet, but hopefully it looks good next year because the strike's over, and we'll see how things turn next year. It'll be my first full year without a strike, so I'm just
Mm,
very excited for that.
yes, definitely. Can't wait to hear about it.
Yeah.
100%. It's been a great year for you. 2020, wow, 2024, next year, 2023. I'm sorry. I was about to say this is 2024. Um, it's amazing. It's been during the strike, everybody was didn't know what's going to happen during the strike. They didn't know how long it was going to be, and didn't take this long. And finally, the strike is over, and now everybody can get back to normal, the writers, directors, producers, and all the actors. So, can't wait what 2024 brings you.
I'm excited. I heard there might be another strike next year with animation and stuff too. So I don't know if we're fully out of the water yet with all these strikes, but I feel like since the writers got what they wanted, the actors got what they wanted, or apparently they agreed to something. I hope this animation thing is better too. The whole AI thing has been really interesting and really scary. AI is an amazing tool if you use it the right way. If you use it to help you, but if you use it to replace somebody, it's not. And I think every tool, there's a way to use it the right way, and there's a way to use it the wrong way. And I think a lot of people are using AI the wrong way, and it's scary. And hopefully, this animation thing, because animation is big AI. So we need animation to stay human jobs, the voiceover actors, the people making all the characters. So we're hoping that that is good next year, and hopefully they have leverage from what happened with us, and hopefully the animation strike doesn't happen. But I heard that's a rumor. I just don't know if it's a thing.
Hmm.
I just don't want any strikes to happen. Unless all get along, unless I'll be happy and just keep doing what we're doing for years.
Amen. 100%. I totally agree with you. It's been an honor, Wes. Like I said, I really 100%, excuse me, appreciate you following me on Instagram, finding my show on Instagram. Like I said, this show is not about me. It's about everybody, like yourself and all the actors and producers and directors. And it's telling your stories out there, letting people know about you. And this is what I love what I'm doing, and this is what the audience wants to hear, and I know it is, and that's what I love what I'm doing. So I appreciate you coming on.
No, let's think. Have you do you like music a lot too?
Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Yeah. So there's this one guy. He's absolutely. I saw him live this past year, and he was music's great. But this guy is there's so much going on with the world right now, war, social media. There's a lot of negative activity in people's lives. A lot of people not caring for people, a lot of people not being nice to people. There's this guy named, do you know Michael Franti?
I heard that name.
Yeah, he is amazing. And I saw him live, and his all of his songs are about like happy, good vibes. It's about just being happy, working hard, being nice to people. Like we saw him live, man. He was like, it just makes you feel so happy and so good. He doesn't swear. It's not about like this crap here, crap there. It's about like just work hard and be nice to people. And that's like uh I would love to meet him again, and stuff too. But all of his songs have really good meaning. They really every song relates to what's happening in the world, and he puts a twist on it to make sure you are nice to people, you're happy to people, and just work hard and just be nice to everybody. So I
Hmm.
definitely recommend him on Spotify or whatever. But like he's an inspiration. He is really awesome.
Wow, I definitely have to check out his music.
The best. It makes you feel good. And the summer, I'll listen to it now. It's just winter time, so it's kind of like, but like the beach, like he's just such a cool kind of reggae like music. When you're at the beach, it feels so good, and it puts a smile on your face. It makes you play this good stuff out there.
Yes, 100%. I will have to check it out and I will listen to him as soon as possible and listen to it. There's a lot of good music out there. We definitely need it. Music brings peace to the world.
Yeah, it does.
100%. So thank you for recommending that, Wes, and I will definitely listen to it. So thank you again for coming on my show, and I look forward to having you back.
I would love to come back. I would love to. Next year, summertime, I'll be on the beach. We can interview on the beach. It'll be awesome. I love it.
Yes, yes, definitely come back on my show next year. We'll stay in touch.
We definitely will. Thank you.
All right, talk to you soon. Bye.
Hey.